Hey yogis, Kit Kat here. Welcome to today's mini flow. You might hear some music in the background, and this music, it actually moves into a sung version of the Bhagavad Gita, which is a particularly essential and special yogic text. This always reminds me of one of my very first teacher trainings in Rishikesh in India. We'd get up very early in the morning, 4:35 a.m. for our first practice and meditation, and after that, before breakfast, we'd get to go for a walk through the village, and I'd quite often wander down to the Ganga, and you'd see all the beautiful morning rituals that were occurring as you roamed through the village. And I'd go down to a specific spot along the Ganga, and there'd be a couple of sadhus sitting down there just with this tiny transistor radio, like a super old-fashioned, I'm in the 1970s transistor radio, and they would be listening to this and then the upcoming version of the Bhagavad Gita. They'd just be sitting by the Ganga, just really enjoying this music, and this music always takes me back to that space. And so it might be a little bit unusual for you to listen to today, but I genuinely hope that you find a space in your heart for it, like I have, because I absolutely love it. Anyway, let's get started on today's flow. We're going to start in Tadasana with a sun salutation, move to some core work, hamstring stretching, a little bit of balance, piriformis stretching through our pigeon pose, then into shoelace, and moving on to malasana, and a little surprise to transition into our sun salutation and work the other side. So let's get started. Coming to the top of the mat in Tadasana, ground all four corners of the feet into the earth, and just find your space on the mat. Release the hands down by the side body. Draw the belly into the spine with the heart space. Maybe even close the eyes for 2 rounds of breath here. Allow the shoulders to soften, the chin to tuck slightly into the throat. Crown of the head draws high. You're ready to take our first inhale and reach the arms up over the head. Press the hands, palms together, gaze towards the thumbs. As you exhale, hands to heart center, deep forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hands, palms plant. Take a little weight into the hands as you step back into plank lightly. And take your chaturanga. Elbows into the ribs. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the eyes. Tuck the chin into the throat. Exhale, roll over the toes, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Give the head a little shake. Maybe yes, maybe no. Check that the hands, palms are planted, belly is spine, lift the hips. We're going to go ahead and lift that right leg high. Keep the hip turned down so you have those hips remaining square. Really reach the toe as far away up into the far netherlands of the room. As you gaze towards the hands, we're going to bring the knee to the chest as we return to a variation of plank. Inhale, lift the leg high. Exhale, knee into the chest. So also tiger curl. Inhale, lift the leg high. Last round of tiger curl. Exhale, knee into the chest, gaze beyond the mat. Inhale and lift. Hold here for a moment. Recalibrate, press the earth away. Belly to spine. We're going to come into pyramid pose. As you inhale, lift the heel. And we're going to sweep that leg directly underneath us. Lower the back heel. Bring the belly down towards the thigh. Forehead to the shin. Now this might not be you today, so if it's not, feel free to grab some blocks and find your variation. So whatever is working for you today, in every one of these postures or shapes, there's a variation for you, just for you. So you might be here or here, perfectly okay. You might be all the way down. Inhale, gaze beyond the toes. Walk the hands forward. Take an inhale breath, shift the body weight to the right leg, come into warrior three. Lift the hands from the mat. You find your balance. Reach the arms back. Lift the heart space. Gaze forward. Exhale, release the hands back down to the mat. Drop that back foot back into your pyramid. This time we're going to take that left hand, come into revolved triangle, plant the hand. Inhale and lift. Ground both feet into the earth. Big toe and the pinky toe. Inhale. And as you exhale, deepen the twist, gaze towards the hand. Try and create some space with each breath, maintaining your balance. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Little shifty, nifty trick into pigeon pose here. We're going to lift that right leg, take the foot to the left hand, drop that knee down and slide back into pigeon pose. Stay up high for a moment and just see if you can find the best variation of this shape for you. That might mean a block under the hip, and we want this back leg to be parallel with the mat. I'm not overly fussed whether this shin is parallel or pulled back a little bit. That's completely up to you, wherever you're working at this point in time. Exhale the breath and start to release the body down towards the earth. Just finding that place of letting go. You might have your attention drawn to the hips. You might have your attention drawn to the shoulders or to the toes. So as you take an inhale breath, maybe close the eyes. Think of wherever that attention is, wherever your attention is being drawn. And release the breath. See if you can let go into that space. Eventually walking the hands forward. Maybe bringing the forehead to the earth. Wherever you are today, I'm going to take 3 more breaths here. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Next inhale, gaze forward. Walk the hands back. Walk the hands beside the hips. And swing that left leg all the way over the top for shoelace. Plant the hands beside the hips and lift the knees a little bit so you can find your alignment in this shape. Take the arms out to the side. You're going to take your right hand and move that up between the shoulder blades. Left hand up and over for this reverse grip. Now, if this is struggle town for you today, a really good assist here is to get a strap, drop that down and find a grip here, and then you can gradually they become buddies as they walk towards each other. So if that's you today, or if you're me, and we're just going to take another 4 breaths here. Sitting back into the hips. And again, finding those places of tension, allowing the breath to just settle and surrender. Beautiful onomatopoeic word, surrender. And here's that fabulous version of the Bhagavad Gita that I love so much. Exhale and release out of your arm stretch there. Release the legs. Take them out to about mat width and we're coming into malasana squat. So just maybe a little rock and roll here. A little bit of movement to find your way in. Maybe you need lots of hands to get you up there. Maybe you can go there, no hands. Elbows into the shins, open the heart space. Draw the belly into the spine, see if you can find some length in the back body. You're going to take 3 more breaths here. rolling back into the heels, into the knife edge of that foot. Or both feet really. Our next port of call is bakasana, crow pose. So we're going to plant the hands down onto the earth, lift the hips. Wherever your crow pose is happening today, and hold this for 3 breaths. Before you step back into your plank, take a vinyasa and find yourself back in downward facing dog, ready to do the other side. So just take a few grounding breaths here. Maybe shake the head yes and no. A little movement in the hips. One leg probably feels longer than the other right now. And let's inhale, lift that left leg high. Really send those left toes to the far, far corners of the room, finding the longest possible version of yourself in this variation of 3-legged dog. Square the hips, equal pressure between the hands and the remaining foot. Gaze forward as we come to tiger curl. Exhale, knee comes into the chest. Inhale and lift away. Exhale, knee into the chest. Inhale, lift away. We're coming into our last one. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, lengthen. Hands, palms, press, heels ground. And those toes reach away that square hip. Bend your left knee, heel comes into the butt. Open up the left hip and send your left heel to the right side of the mat. Lift your head gaze over your right bicep. And see if you can see that foot. Yeah, there it is. 2 more breaths here. Heart opening, back bending, twisting, balance, all happening. Inhale, come back through center. We're going to move into pyramid pose. Gentle gaze forward, lift up into the heel and sweep that foot all the way forward. Lower your back heel and find your variation of pyramid pose. Squaring into the hips. Maybe today you need to take a little pressure into the hands, a little weight of the upper body into the hands. Maybe you're working a little bit deeper with a slight arch into the back, gazing beyond the toes and reaching as far forward as you can. Everyone together can gaze forward now. We're going to come into warrior 3. So shift that body weight into the left foot as we come to find our balance. Now beautiful warrior 3. Take another round of breath here. Reach the hands behind and lift the heart space. Gaze into the future. Flying forward in this beautiful heart opening shape. Exhale and release. Drop that back foot down a little closer than your last variation of a pyramid pose. Take your right hand to the outside of your left foot and come into a revolved triangle. So if this shape is not yet in your practice, and it can be quite a challenging shape to master, first port of call, block inside the foot, hand palm plants here, and that gives you the opportunity to open up without that super deep twist. Once you've mastered that, move the block over to the other side so then you can deepen that twist. So that gives you another something to work on. Then with the layers of the block, drop it down so you're getting closer to the earth. Again, hand palm really plants into that and you can continue to open. Eventually you're going to work your way all the way down onto the earth. Sorry about the banging of the block. And find your way into your revolved triangle. Release that down to the earth. We're going to come into our pigeon pose. So scoot that left foot over to the right hand. A little hop back. And here we are in our pigeon. Remembering to keep this back leg parallel to the mat. So I can feel I'm sitting over to my left side here. So I'm going to plant my toes into the earth, lift my hips up, realign myself, and bring myself back down to earth. Always bring myself back down to earth. Inhale, lift the heart space. And as you exhale, just find wherever you might be in your pigeon pose today. So maybe you're just here. I'm feeling a little tighter on this side than I was on the other. But with every breath, the inhale creates a little space, and the exhale is going to allow you to surrender. Let's take another 3 breaths here. You can walk the hands back. Next on hip list is shoelace. Swing that right leg up and over. Take the hands to the hips. Lift the knees. Lift the hips so you can get the knees stacked over one another and the hips square. It's just easier to get into your shoelace if you work it in that job. I find it easier to get in with that little adjustment so the hands come to the hips and you can line the knees up and drop the hips down. And we want both hips squared down onto the earth and the knife edge of the foot planted into the mat. Take the arms out to the side and we're swapping arms this time. So that left arm is going up between the shoulder blades, right hand reaches behind for your reverse grip. We're going to take 5 breaths here. Shoelace can be a tough space in which to surrender. So to the very best of your ability right now, maybe even close your eyes. Just let the inhale and the exhale do the work. Breathe it in. Allow that breath to travel to the places that are drawing your attention. Two more breaths here. Last breath. Release the hands, the shoulders a little roll maybe, in time with the music of course. Unwind the legs, take the feet out and come into your malasana. Possibly not the sexiest entry into malasana, but an entry nonetheless. Press the elbows into the shins, open the heart space, gaze forward. See if you can get a little bit more out of this hip opening, maybe a little bit of movement. Maybe a little bit of settling. Just hoping to improve a little bit. Might feel a little easier this time coming into malasana because we've already been in shape once today. So I have a whole tutorial on malasana if it's a challenge or a struggle for you. So you can see that in YouTube or in my IGTVs. Our next transition is into bakasana, crow pose. So hands, palms plant, you're going to gaze beyond the mat. Lift the hips and you can either, wherever the knees are for you in your crow pose, bring them to that space. Lift into the core. Find your balance for as many breaths as you can. Really activate the core. Step back into plank. Exhale through your vinyasa. Inhale, urdhva. Gaze towards the sky. Bring the chin back into the throat. Exhale, roll over the toes, press back. Downward facing dog. One more breath here. Shake that head. Gentle gaze forward, bend into the knees. Step or float forward, flat back. Exhale, deep forward fold. Inhale, roll to rise. Hands, palms press. Heart lifts, heels ground. Exhale, hands through heart center. stay here for a moment and take 3 breaths, and with each of those breaths, think of something that you are grateful for in your day today. I'm grateful for this wonderful version of the Bhagavad Gita. I'm grateful for my health today. I'm grateful to my friend Polly for introducing me to whatever Chinese magic that was that made me feel well again. It's always easy to find gratitude in our day when we pause for just a moment and connect with our surroundings and those moments of joy, or the opportunity to recognise and appreciate those moments that make us happier, healthier, wiser, wealthier. Yogis, thank you for joining me on this tutorial today. I do wish you a wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you very soon. Namaste.